I was so excited about this, and Raid just had to figure out how to dampen it. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on the Free to Pause account because we are going to be pulling some Void Shards. Because I've got 39 of these bad boys at the moment, and I've got some aspirations of a Void Legendary, a couple of Void Epics, actually some critical Void Rares that would actually help this account. And I've been looking forward to Tholen because I have been grinding away for the Demon Star Soul or whatever the Demon Slayer Titan event is, and we are getting close. I have 1,250 points here. I have 60 points left in the champion training, so that's good. I have another 30 points left over for me here in the classic arena. If I think I can do it, I have 50 points here for the Ice Golem event. So I'm at 1,380 points. So I need 120 points more. I think there was something else I could do as well. Nope, it looks like those were the events I could do. So I went to look at the Champion Chase, expecting this to be around 4,000 points and not 5,500. Now, with less than 40 voids, getting to 5,500 means I'm going to be pulling multiple legendaries. And, Polarium, to be fair, if I pull multiple legendaries, you're forgiven, okay? We can make that happen. I've got a Pepsi here just in case. We'll talk about that later. But these 50 points here are not going to be enough. These 150 points here pretty much finish it out for me with just a little bit of work. So, I need to get to this level if I want to get the top soul. And I may have to make a decision at the end of this weekend if I'm going to be pulling anything else. Now, I do actually have Ishiyama as a fragment summon here, and I guess maybe I kick myself a little bit because at one point in time I had a couple of other summons hiding in here that maybe I could have pulled, and at least one of which was a duplicate of the Epic Rhino, who would have been another 350 points as well. But I maxed out another event that got me a bunch of resources as well, so I guess I can't kind of look back at it too much in hindsight. So this is going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to need to decide, am I going to go for the fusion that we just got announced? He's an interesting fusion. I'm still kind of torn on him as well. And on this particular account, I don't know if I can take advantage of what he does or if he even is going to do anything that I want, let alone I think his kit is kind of wonky enough that I don't know if I'll be able to leverage it for months at least with this particular account. So maybe it might be better for me to skip it on this account. We'll see. I'm actually starting to lean that way. And if that's the case, I am willing to pull my sacreds to get the soul, because Tholen has been one of the more impactful champions this account has seen. And you know what? Getting that 5-star soul is actually going to be a huge power boost for him. And getting the 4-star soul for me is basically nearly impossible with where my account is right now, because I just don't get the top level of Iron Twins hit. In fact, I don't go past 12 at the moment, and until I can get past 12, farming up 300 of the silver coins is just not realistic. So with the downer part of this out a little bit, let's actually pull some shards, and maybe that'll change my tune just a little bit. So, nothing else special going on, just a plain old 2x Void and that event. And we're hoping for as many points as possible. So I would love to see a boatload of epics. And to be fair, I don't have a lot of Void epics. I've not pulled a ton of Void shards because you don't get a ton of them. I've pulled maybe 100. And that's an estimate. I actually could look at my count tracker, but my count tracker is probably not perfect as far as that's concerned. I have never gotten a Void legendary from a shard yet. So I would love to, pop that cherry as it were. That would be absolutely amazing. I have Pepsi here to help me. They are not a sponsor. It is very unfortunate. Pepsi, call me. Let's make this happen. It would be an amazing combination for you, for me, for Raid. Let's get it done. Come on. But let's get some cool stuff. And honestly, I would love to have this sprinkled with purple, because if these pulls are sprinkled with purple, I can get close enough that I'll be able to pull just a few sacreds, or maybe even grind out mystery shards. If I feel really bad about it, I've got 1,500 points here in mystery shards, which would be kind of gross, but it's doable. We'll see. All right. We're going to pull 10 pulls at the end, so let's go start with single pulls. Maybe you can get a legendary to run out at me. That would be kind of cool. Yes! Yes! This is the rare, well, one of the rares I've been looking for. Bellower is one of the rares I'm looking for. I could also use a Painkeeper. Bellower is absolutely amazing. He is all AoE. He does actually really good damage, so you can actually build him for some damage. And he's got block active skills on the A1, only a 20% chance, bookable 30%. Not great, but, you know, nice to have. And actually, that's a really, really useful ability. Decreased speed, it's the low decreased speed. He's only got a 75% chance to do it. But again, AoE on a rare, and you give him the blessing that turns this from the little one to the big one, and suddenly he can put a ton of debuffs out there, be very helpful as well. And then he's got decreased attack and decreased defense. This has got a 100% chance to place 4-turn cooldown, and if you get the blessing that gets it, converts it from the little ones to the big ones, even better. Put him in a stun set. He's a huge stunner. Put him in some damage gear. He actually can do wave clear. He is one of the faster wave clearing farmers for campaign because he has a bunch of AoEs and he does enough damage for you as well. He is just so useful all over the place. On top of that, he's got a 15% speed aura in faction crypts, which is really useful for factions as well. He will help my Ogryn tribe. He may actually be the key to what my Ogryn tribe needs to get further because I don't have a lot of really good damage or utility, and he brings quite a bit of both. So that is a great pull. All right, got the rare I wanted out of the way early. That's great. And there was an epic Suai Firstborn. I know she can do some decent amount of damage. I know Med Cappers mentioned that she likes Suai. Decreased defense on the A1, that doesn't suck. 50% chance, just a 50% chance. Increased attack and increased crit damage buff of this champion if it kills an enemy, not bad. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Oh, yeah, okay, an actual AoE damage dealing champion. Okay, I may actually have to build her for Faction Wars because I need some damage on my barbs, and she doesn't seem too bad. And then attacks 1 enemy for attacking at a 75% chance of placing weakened. So that's a 4-turn cooldown, and that's a 4-turn cooldown AoE, and it's a 75% unbooked. So unbooked, she seems very usable for a Faction Wars epic for some damage to bring it to the account. So yeah, actually that's not too bad. I'm not going to complain too much about her. And she's an epic, which as I said, we need those points. So let's get some more epics. Let's go. That is a Mycolis, not particularly exciting. And not every Void Rare's got to be absolutely amazing. That is a farming puppy, Fellhound, absolutely amazing. I have a Fellhound already, but he is all about the A1 here. An AoE that does enough damage to actually nuke the waves down on the campaign. He is the fastest campaign farmer in the game as far as brutal 12-3, just because you build him with enough damage and he'll just do this and be done with it. He's got some other utility as well, continuous heal and reflect damage, and block damage on somebody here on this turn as well. Unfortunately, he's not very good on teams with pre-programmed because he likes to do these 2 abilities rather than when you want him to do the A1 most of the time. But otherwise, he's a good champion. But I've already got one. That would have been a good pull otherwise. Doomscreech, probably not a bad champion to hold on to because he's actually usable here. Not the shield thing, although he does place a shield. That's not horrible. But he's got a turn meter fill of 30%, which is actually pretty good, and increased defense. So he's one of the only champions that does a turn meter boost with increased defense. The other 2 are Siphi and Podrick. And Podrick does it as a passive, so it's not quite the same, but still very, very good champion. You know, he's usable. So for a rare, he's actually decent. I've seen a lot of people actually have used him for early arena. If I'd pulled him a lot earlier, I probably would have used him in arena, but I don't think I need him quite now. But not a bad rare. We're going to stop talking about rares pretty soon, hopefully. Well, maybe not quite. Tree Shield not. Got a revive. Got some healing. Decent reviver. I've got him already built out to 5 stars for my Faction Wars. I might need to 6-star him. I need more damage on my Sylvan Watchers, though. RS specs, he is Broadmaw Light, which makes him not particularly great. Poison on the A1, turn meter fill and increased speed on the A2, and a very bad revive on the A3, but for a rare, still not horrible. Get him very early, he could be very good for you. There's an epic. It's another Skytouch Shaman. This is the All Dupes faction, or All Dupes account, apparently. I already have one of her. She's hard to use because she fears herself, which is annoying. Interesting. I didn't realize that was an ascension thing. But she also heals a bunch of people as she does damage and as she takes her turn. So she basically drops some of her HP, heals a bunch of everyone else quite a bit, puts decreased speed on her, possibly puts a fear on her. But she has a revive on death and a block debuffs with a full cleanse, and then a healing on the A1. Honestly, it is a very clunky kit, and there used to be a huge way to use her by putting like immunity, or you could probably put stone skin on her as well. But honestly, it is not worth using her in 2025. She's just, there are better just direct revivers. I had her kind of built out, and then I pulled Tashada, and Tashada is a better healer, reviver, and support champion than she is, which is sad. So, let's go. That is a retainer. Not particularly exciting. All right, we have 310 pulls. We've gotten 2 epics so far, so we're, just to show you, I will point out here, because the rares are worth 50 points each in the champion chase, we are already at 1,000 points, and that was 9 of these things. So maybe I'm doing Polarium a little bit of a disservice, complaining about 5,500 points. This is not unobtainable, even on this account with only these 40 shards, but it feels painful to be just slightly out of reach. But maybe. I mean, we got 2 epics and we have 1,000 points right there. I've got 500 left. Let's see if we can do it. That would be absolutely amazing. A Void Legendary, however, would go a long way to doing this. Broadmaw! I've already got one. I've already fused that dude. And Exemplar. Exemplar is a bad example of a legendary champion, unfortunately. Cold Heart's nice. I have 4 of them already on this account, which feels really bad for you guys struggling to get Cold Heart, but I've got 5 of them. That's not helpful. Exemplar, Broadmaw is good, but he's a fusion you can make anywhere. Selena's give you some burns, not too bad. Exemplar's just bad. She needs a huge buff. AoE, or not an AoE, but weird abilities to do stuff with weaken, 3 times at random to place weaken, just make it an AoE, and then a single target freeze. It is a 100% chance to freeze on a single target, and block active skills no less, but just not good. Just not good. She doesn't do a lot of damage either, so just a bad champion. All right, so that's another 1,000 points, so we are making progress. Let's get a bunch of epics, or maybe legendary. Another Skytouch Shaman? Really? Really, Polarium? There's another Cold Heart. Okay, we only got 1 epic here. It's unfortunate. We're doing better than expected for the rates for epics, or about average, I guess, because we've gotten 5 on 29. I still want a Painkeeper, and I still don't have a Painkeeper. Painkeeper would be huge. Honestly, I could use like a couple of them, so I was really hoping to get more Painkeepers, not more Cold Hearts. Alrighty, let's get pulling. Last 10 pull. Come on, Pepsi. Don't let me down. Let's get some interesting epics as well. Not like stuff that I've got. Beard Hall, Fellhammer, not a particularly good epic. That's unfortunate. More purple, more yellow, more anything. This was painful. This was very, very painful. And I'm going to have a decision to make here. So good news is I do have the weekend to think about it. So maybe I can, get a few more void shards, just doing stuff in general. Doom Tower should have some voids in it. I think I'm close enough to maybe get some voids. But Beardall, just no thank you. Heal reduction on the A1, 30% chance, bookable to 60% chance. Could be okay for Amius if you're really desperate. Get Sniper on that for 65, but then you're putting masteries on this dude. A1, or one single attack 3 times. Each hit has 75% chance of placing decreased defense. Targets under a heal. If the target's under a heal reduction is the only way he places his decreased wow. That's so bad. And he puts a counterattack on himself. So that's I guess what makes him interesting is he puts a counterattack at the start of each round and at the end of his turn. So he basically has a good chance of keeping the heal reduction out there. So I think maybe he could be okay for Amius. And then he might get a chance to put this decreased defense up there, but just not great. And if he doesn't really nuke, then this isn't going to be helpful from a nuke perspective. And as an attack champion, he's going to be kind of squishy. So just not particularly good kit synergy. So yeah. So where are we at with the points? Well, we are not quite at 4,000 points. So if I were to pull 5 of my sacred shards, that would get me to 5,000. And then I would get 5,500 if I pulled Ishiyama. And you know what? I think we're going to do it. I am going to preemptively give up on the fusion on this account. I don't necessarily recommend doing this, but I think that that's probably the best thing to do for this account. And I was thinking about it anyway, because I need to build up shards, which means that if I pull for sacreds now, then I can save my sacreds over the next several summoning events for the next fusion after this one. I can start focusing on building out more champions, because I've been very focused on building out a couple of very specific champions, but I do need to round out my account with another couple of champions. I really kind of wish I'd pulled a champion worth building here in this, but you know what? With these sacred shards, I've got a chance to do that as well. So, you know, and yeah, to be fair, I'll probably still yeet any voids I get for the rest of the weekend, but, you know, we'll keep it in the video and we will see if we can get, maybe I can get a really cool legendary, or maybe I can get a really cool epic for my sacreds. Sacreds, Polarium, Pepsi, don't let me down. And that's a Jingle Hunter. That is not who we're looking for. You know, if you need an early speed booster, that's not the one I'm looking for here. I guess if you need, he's just not great. He's all about this speed aura early on, but you can get better speed auras on a lot of champions now. It's just not a good champion. Honestly, I would love to see him reworked just a little bit to work a little bit better with like Lady Noelle and Santa. That would be kind of cool. Come on. Let's get something cool. Woad Painted doesn't suck. She was one of the worst epics in the game, and now she's been buffed, so she's actually pretty decent. Block active skills on the A1, a 30% chance, but still not a horrible skill to have. Fully heals this champion, places a 30% reflect damage on this buff for 2 turns, removes all debuffs from this champion and places 1 random debuff from all allies now, then heals this champion by 100% of their max HP, and heals allies 50% of the surplus heal. So if she's mostly topped off, this is a very chunky heal, because she has a lot of HP. Afterwards puts a reflect damage on all allies for 2 turns and then grants this champion an extra turn. See, the Ascendant version of this skill reads much better. This is a very good skill and a very good healing skill in the game. 4-turn cooldown, but the extra turn makes it effectively a 3-turn cooldown. 4-turn if unbooked, so you actually don't need to book her if you need a okay-ish healer to get you by for a while in Faction Wars. So, and 100% of her HP, if you get her over 100,000 HP, that's a 50, that can be up to a 50,000 HP heal on every champion. That's chunky. That's huge. And then she's got a better chance of landing block active skills on this as well. So yeah, not looking for a lot of damage, but that's fine. It's all about this heal, and this heal is absolutely amazing. So not a bad champion. I don't know if I need her on this account, because I'm going to be getting Syl soon, and Syl's going to handle most of my healing duties here on the Barbarians at least. So, but new, not bad. Illusinia. Oh, are you a Mikage fusion? I need to look that. No, it's Endalia, not Illusinia. Oh, man. Okay. I was hoping. I would have absolutely loved. That's another thing I didn't realize, too. I was looking for Amarantine Skeleton and Confessor. I did not get either of those either from the Voids. That is really kind of disappointing. This was like a huge letdown. Alrighty. Nizana? Nizana would have been better earlier on. She is all about, she's got an AoE decrease attack, very nice for clan boss. 3-turn cooldown, 75% chance, not 100% chance, but it's not bad. But she's got the 3-turn ally protection and a good shield. So she's all about protection. She can be very helpful in Faction Wars because she is all AoEs as well. She can actually be really good in a stun set. So not a horrible champion, probably not what this account needs where I'm at right now, but not bad. Masamoto, again, not particularly exciting. Attacks one enemy 2 times, 10% chance of stealing a random buff. Bookable to 30% chance. And that's not even per hit. That would be nice if that was per hit. Attacks all enemies, chance of playing 50% decreased defense. Okay, but I've got a Hotatsu that does that and does other stuff better. Puts an increased defense buff on allies, also fills turn meter of all allies by 15%. So, okay, turn meter. Hey, I was just talking about champions that do increased defense and turn meter fill. Apparently Masamoto does that as well. So there is another alternative for you. 4-turn cooldown on a champion that is probably not particularly fast and doesn't have a lot else to bring to the table. Probably not great. Honestly, Doomscreech's ability is better for a rare. It's also a 3-turn cooldown. So that's kind of sad, actually. But hey, it is what it is. Finally, just to do the thing, we are going to summon you. Yay, legendary! And he's Ishiyama. You know, ignore defense here, AoE with some fear. He'll be helpful in Faction Wars. He's an HP-based damage dealer, and he will be useful in Faction Wars for this account. Because one of the things I don't have is I don't have a lot of damage. So he will be a useful damage dealer in this account for Faction Wars. And he's an HP-based damage dealer, which means he could have some use in certain situations where attack-based damage dealers are not particularly helpful. So not bad to have a couple of flexible champions. Is he great? No, but he's not bad. And on this account, he's going to be a good damage dealer. Not a great one, but a good damage dealer. So I'm not going to complain too much. Well, that's not true. I'm going to complain a lot because I've got a YouTube channel and, you know, it's a thing I do. So that is exactly what I needed. As we pointed out, get all the rest of the stuff as well. Didn't want to take the energy, but that's fine. So I'll just have to make sure I use the energy. And hey, we are really close here to getting the soul, and I will have that done because I have the champion training right here. So you know, I've got champions I need to train to get the rest of this way up, so I will be able to finish this without a problem. This means I don't really have to worry about too much else on the account. And yeah, I'm a little bit barren, and I'm probably not doing the next fusion on this account, and that's fine. That'll give me a break to focus on other progress for this account. I can focus just a little bit more on targeting Lydia. I can focus a little more on maybe rounding out a second and a third Hydra team, so maybe I can start pushing into Brutal Hydra. Maybe I can even figure out a way to improve my Clan Boss team, so my Clan Boss team is a consistent 3-key to 2-key, as opposed to a consistent 4-key to 3-key, what it is right now. Those 4 keys are unfortunately when it is only Force, and that's really kind of the big problem I'm still having with this account, is that I just can't figure out how to get past the Force boss on, you know, Clan Boss, so that's going to be an issue. But hey, we, you know, we did that with the Sacred Shards. Maybe I could have done it with Mystery Shards instead, but that would have been, honestly, that would have been very unpleasant, and I need Mystery Shards for a lot of champ training and stuff. And so, hey, we got those sacred stuff in dead. We got a couple of champions. We can fill out maybe a couple of the Guardian Ring stuff. And I've got some Void Rares I still want, which is, you know, weird, but, you know, it's what happens in this game. So, hey, was it very disappointing? Yes. Did I eventually get what I was looking to get accomplished on the account? Yeah. And, you know, that's progress at least, and that's something to at least kind of hold my head high on. And you know what? Not every shard pull is going to be a vamp banger. It's very unfortunate that for this account that could have been game changed with all kinds of even mediocre, I got mostly trash here. But unfortunately, that's kind of the thing that happens in Raid Shadow Legends sometimes. They're not always going to get amazing champion. When you do, it's a huge rush. And when you don't, it's a bit of a disappointment. But hey, let me know what you pulled. Hopefully my luck was ruined so you guys can get something amazing. Let me know. I would love to hear it. Rub your wonderful luck in my face. I definitely appreciate it. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate all you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing, especially if you made it to the end of the video here. Much love, and until the next video, I'm Bront CatHerder.